Julia Watts here again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're continuing with our stencil techniques. Now, I've already shared with you some ideas of how to use alcohol ink with the texture medium and the stencils, and I thought we'd do that again, but we're going to use a different technique to apply the alcohol ink, and we're also going to do one of them on mirror card as well. So let's do the mirror card one first, and we're going to use Sophistication. You'll find everything I'm using over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, for shipping to UK addresses, and you'll also find all Sentimentally Yours products over at Honeypot Crafts too. To one side, get rid of that. And I know this is a little bit big, but this is just a piece of mirror card I found in my stash. So let's get Sophistication all secured. And Sophistication is one of the stencils that is only available from retailers. It won't ever be on the TV. It's a little bit wonky. Or maybe my card's got wonky, that's more likely. We'll say that. And as we've got an area at the side, we'll put some over here as well. Oh, I'm being very frugal with my tape, and it's not cheap. Right, let's pop that on there like so, and we'll do the other side as well. Okay, so on this one we're going to put regular texture medium, which is the one that is glossy when it's dry. And where's my scrapers? So I'm going to put a little bit at the top, wipe some over my finger, obviously. This is more than we'll need. You can put it back in the pot. I'm going to take a Woodware scraper tool. You get a pack of 2, which is very handy, seeing as I need to use 2. And we're just going to scrape it down over the top. And if you were to leave it, in fact we will see it before we put the alcohol inks, then it'll be nice and glossy with the mirror card underneath. Let's just pick up that excess. Don't put it back in the pot. I know it's not a lot, but it's still a little bit. And all this will go, because it's not anything mixed in it, it will all go back into the pot for us to use on another project. So let's now wipe, and as always, out of shot, but do wipe around the top of your pot so that there's no texture medium on the top, and then you'll be able to get in it next time, which is very important. So I've got some around the lid as well. Don't know how that's happened. We'll clean the lid as well. There's nothing more annoying than not being able to get into your texture paste. Really annoying. Okay, let's peel this away. Do that side last. I mean, it goes on white, but it dries lovely and glossy and clear. There are a lot of texture mediums on the market. In my opinion, the Sentimentally Yours one is the best. And I know you think I'm biased, but I've used quite a lot of texture mediums, and this one is just wonderful. Oh, not the camera, as per usual. Nothing new there. Okay, lift this up. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. See the reflection of my camera there. Okay, so put that aside to dry somewhere. I think that's okay there. And we'll come in with our second piece. And this is just white glossy cardstock. And I do sell it in packs of 10 for £2 something. And it's perfect to use with alcohol inks. This is the Mechanation stencil. So again, we're going to secure that. We're just going to secure this top and bottom because there's no card at the side. The texture medium will come off the craft sheet, so don't stress. Even if it dries, it will come off. You can just use the edge of an acrylic block and it'll come off. Okay. And this one, we'll go for the gritty texture medium on this one. Again, pop some at the top. You can hear the grit in that. Don't put too much out. Put the top on just yet. And we can go for our second scraper tool from the 2-pack. And drag it down. And you can hear the grit in it. Wonderful stuff. Need to get that bottom bit. The benefit of using a scraper tool is that you don't tend to dig underneath the stencil, and you get a lovely smooth finish as well. That'll do. So all this can go back in the pot. It's not a lot, just a little. It's always worth putting it back in the pot. And as always, we're going to clean around the top of the pot so that we can get into it next time. Very important. Lid's clean, so we're good to go. And let's peel off this. And we'll see what this looks like, and then we're going to leave it aside to dry and then come back and play with our alcohol inks. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Do be careful that you have not got texture paste underneath, like I'll probably have just now. Think about where you're putting it to dry. I've missed a bit at the bottom, but it's fine. There we go. You could stencil brush that off if you wanted to. I've done it before. In fact, we'll do that with it. I do like the gritty. So that's as it is. So you could just leave that to dry as it is, and that would be rather lovely with the glossy cardstock at the back of it. So let's just put that aside to dry somewhere. There. And let's pull in another piece of card. This is just normal white cardstock. And we're going to give this a little mist with water. And pop it flat side down. So the paste is on the top. Then we're going to grab, and I've done this many times before, we're going to grab some powders. Let's go for some blues. We're going to go for Cerulean Sky. This is the Flawless Medium. We'll go for a purple. This is Enchanted Wisteria. And we go for another blue, I think. Let's go for Lagoon Full. Go for that. 2 blues and a purple. And have I got my brush out? Probably not. So what we'll do is we'll use a scraper. course we can. Not as good as a brush, but you know, might do and all that. So a bit, as we've only got one purple, let's have a bit more purple. That's a lot of purple. Give that a wipe before I go into one of the blues. This is Cerulean Sky. Oh, that's a lot of that. That's why a brush is better. Okay. That's right, I'll move it around. And then we'll have some of the Lagoon Pool. It's a beautiful tealy colour. Lighter than the deep aquamarine. Okay, that'll do. More than enough. You can see I've got loads left in my pots, even though I've used them over and over and over. And let's grab a stencil brush or three. And let's start with the Lagoon Pool. Remember, there is a bit of water on the stencil. And obviously the texture paste is going to, with the water, is going to bind the powders. It's always different when you do this, always different. Okay, so that's all the Lagoon Pool. Let's just leave that there for a second. Then we go for this medium one. Now there's quite a lot of this Cerulean Sky here, so I'm going to bring some up there as well. See, it didn't matter that there was loads there. There's always ways around it. Let's pick some of this up and move that around there. Okay, and then we'll come in with the Enchanted Wisteria. It's all okay, some of the colours mixed together. In fact, it's nice when they do, rather than keeping them completely apart. The only reason I keep separate brushes, or use separate brushes, is so that I can actually see the different colours to begin with. Because if you use the same brush to do all of it, then you're just going to get all the same colour, aren't you? It's going to be a unique colour that you've made, but it's going to be the same colour all over. You won't get any differences. Let's see if we've got it all. I think we have. We can go different bits now. Okay, I'm happy with that. Shall we see what we've got? In the bucket of water. Let's see what we've got. That's rather lovely, isn't it? Let me hold it up. We've not even got onto the alcohol inks yet. Isn't that lovely? Very happy with that. That makes me happy. Right, so we've also got, look at all this on here. That's a waste not to use that. It's a waste. Right, so I'm going to bring in another piece of card. When you do this sort of thing, have loads of pieces of card available, because then you can make the most of what you've got. So I'm going to mist this with some water away from the camera. I'm actually putting quite a lot of water on it. There's quite a lot of water on there, which is good. That's what I want. And then we're going to pop that down on our cup. It's good having all these kind of twofers or threefers. basically using what's in your stash. Let's pull this away, see if we've got something. We have. Not as much down there as I do like. Oh, it's not too bad actually. It's not too bad at all. Obviously it's got to dry. I think that's quite cool actually as a background. Remember, it's a background. You can mist over the top and that'll be a bit of resist for you. Obviously you've got the powders, and the powders will probably move again. But you can also die cut it as well if you want to. I mean, let's just mist it a little bit as we can. And we've got a bit more intensity coming on there. A bit more intensity of the colour. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and then we're going to come back and look at what we were meant to be doing by putting some alcohol inks on those first two backgrounds that I laid down. So my backgrounds are all dry now, and this is the Mechanation stencil with the gritty texture medium on the white gloss card. Lovely and dry. I mean, that in itself makes a great background. I'm actually very, very excited about the one on mirror card, which I'll show you right now. This is the one on the mirror card, and obviously you can see the reflection of the camera there, but hopefully you can see how beautiful that, you can see me there. Ooh. Hopefully you can see how beautiful that is. It's like it's almost embossed. It looks like you've run it through an embossing folder. Very, very excited about that. I was so excited that I had to do one with the fanciful stencil on gold mirror card as well. I love those, absolutely love those. I have got a spare one of these as well because I had to do another one. So anyway, let's get these alcohol inks on. So remember, I'm showing you a slightly different way to use it. Before I've shown you a video where I've got something on there, where I've just dropped the alcohol inks on. Here we're going to use one of these applicator tools and a felt. So you can buy the applicator tools with a few felts, and then you can buy refills of the felts, and you can get the applicator tools in the rectangular ones or the circle ones as well. So the alcohol inks I've chosen Coral, we've got Flamingo, and this one is Sunshine Yellow. So we're going to just put a few drops on to begin with. Let's open all these up. So we can just do 1, 2, 3. Tim always used to say do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He probably still says it. 1, 2, 3. And then they do dry quite quickly, but we're going to apply them over the top randomly. You have to work quite hard and it will bounce the camera, because obviously we're going below where the texture paste is. It's running out already, so let's put some more on. That was the pink, I think. Some more there. So you will also find where you've already applied the ink that it will start reacting with the first layer. You've got a little bit more control over this than when you pour it, but obviously you've got to work quite a bit harder if you want to actually cover it all up. It's up to you when you stop. You don't actually have to cover it all up if you don't want to. Let's work a bit harder. bit more on. They do last a long time. I've had mine for years, so don't worry about having to keep on applying them. Obviously, when you just do this on paper that hasn't got any texture to it, it's a lot quicker and a lot easier because you're not trying to push that felt down below the embossed edges. Don't worry about your matte, just use some blending solution and your matte will clean up. I think we're nearly there. Well, how's it looking? It's looking pretty nice actually. I might leave some of those areas white. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's really cool background, and obviously you've got the shine coming through from the glossy cardstock. The reason you use glossy cardstock is that just a normal porous cardstock will just suck the ink in immediately, and it wouldn't you know, move about so much. Okay, so that's that one. Let's put the lids back on again, and then we'll do a similar thing with different colours on the silver one and see what that looks like, because it does work very nicely on mirror card, and also you can use it on the Sentimentally Yours Radiant Lustre Pigment Powder, the Lustre cardstock. Getting all my lustres mixed up. So you can keep that, that'll dry, you can keep that and use that if you're using the same colours, if you want to. Obviously I'm going to use some different colours because I can. And we're going to use, this time we're going to use Purple Twilight, Sailboat Blue, and also Pistachio. So we're going for the kind of the cool colours as opposed to the hot colours with this one. We're going to do the same sort of thing. We'll start with the Pistachio first. I'll give it a few more than 3 because I'm impatient. It's Purple Twilight and the Sailboat Blue. And again, you can see that this is probably not as deep as the one with the gritty texture medium, so you shouldn't have to work quite so hard. Let's have some more of that Pistachio. You'll find colour combos that will work better together. And it goes quite mottled where you picked the ink that you've used before. It kind of moves around. I'll show you. I'll hold it up so you can see in a minute. I'm having a lot of fun at the moment. Cool. I think we're virtually done on this actually. So where it's, can you see there? Oh, camera's reflecting. This is the trouble with mirror card. It's kind of gone more mottled. It's going to be a nightmare to photograph to show you the thumbnail. Anywho, there's different background, alcohol ink background. You can continue adding more if you want to, and it will do that mottled thing for you. Really cool, love it, absolutely love it. So here are the 2 backgrounds, one on the white gloss card and the other one on mirror card, which is reflecting an awful lot. Honestly, try it for yourself because it is absolutely amazing, absolutely stunning. So the products I've used, you'll find some of them, not all the colours are alcohol inks, but you'll find some of them over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and obviously I do have the Sentimentally Yours texture mediums and the stencils as well. If I haven't, then just click on the email when available button and you'll be notified as soon as I have them. Do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. There are loads and loads of videos, and there is now actually a Stencil Techniques playlist there for you, so you can go through all the stencil techniques that I've done so far. And leave me a lovely comment. I do love to read them, and thank you for watching.